hello.
Hello,
Rishi, can
Joy.
you hear me?
Yes, of course. Hi. Can you hear me?
Um, yes, yes, quite well. Um, it's been a while.
Yes.
Um,
Happy to see you.
Last year, I took a different approach, listening to other communicators of the non-duality message.
Uh-huh.
They were very strict in uncompromising message. They were not um talking about the person. They said the person's not real. So there is no teaching. There are no teachers. There's no student. And it was so radical that my mind said, hey, this is, yeah, I thought maybe it's like a shortcut to enlightenment, but there is no enlightenment because there is no person to be enlightened. Yeah, there is no person. So how can it be enlightened? Um, and I thought, oh, this is the way, but there is no way. But okay, but then I noticed that my mind couldn't comprehend that message.
Yeah.
So the mind thought, oh, this is fine because I don't understand this. So it's too direct, and I don't understand this. And then and she came again, and she introduced me to Muji, to you, and Kamal, and yeah, I'm very grateful for that. But I thought no, and now I listened again, and it's all about the words. That
Yes.
other message, they're talking about um, being aware. It's like it looks like there's two, like awareness from something. So there's one and two is not one.
Yes.
So it was like my mind said, oh, no, 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 this is too traditional, this teaching, but teaching applies a process, and processes want to an end. So that's wrong. So I was like, yeah, but it didn't help me because in practical life, that other message was so direct. It didn't help me. Um, so now I'm back. But it's, but it's yeah. And I listen to the invitation every day, and try and see the difference between try to be still and because then somebody is trying, and that
Yes.
somebody else is nobody. But now I started to feel that you cannot do anything. Um, the person cannot do anything. The illusion can get rid of the illusion, but there is some possibility to be still. And but it's so confusing. But I'm glad to be back again because this helps me more than anything else. But I hope you can understand what I mean.
Absolutely.
And
I
it's
think I
really,
can, you
yeah.
know? I think I can understand what you mean. I think that every single person in this room can understand what you mean. This mind in the path of yana, or for the yani, in the path of yana, of wisdom, wisdom is not realized until this mind and all these dichotomies and all this duality and all these challenges and all this confusion comes crashing down. This is the dawn of wisdom. This is not a comfortable process, you've noticed. You see, the question, Joy, is not, or the comment I want to make is that it's not really about whether there's the truth of what you've been hearing is true and honest and genuine. It's really about whether or not in this body mind at this moment you can hear it, you can experience it, you can make use of it. So, it sounds in some way as though you are saying you couldn't make use of the strictness of this teaching the way that you've been experiencing it for the last year. But I don't really think that's true. You are still here. You are still making, you're not, I don't want to say making the effort, you are still setting the intention to awaken every day. You're not being shunted aside. You're not being dissuaded. You're not being put off. You are saying, right now this doesn't work for me, so I'm going to look over here, or I'm going to try something different, or I'm going to go back to something that's more familiar to me. But what I want you to recognize in that process is the essential intentionality of the desire and the drive and the recognition that awakening is possible for you in this life, and understand the determination to find a way, because that is the way. Is to stay with that essential intentionality to awaken. Now, you know that you have that, and you also know that so far in the ways that you've looked, you are not going to achieve that essential awakening using the mind in this way. This is not going to work. It hasn't worked. So you've lost some faith in that. But that doesn't change the direct knowing that brought you back here, so that I could once again say to you, stop. Not stop seeking. Stop in your essential nature as awareness. In this recognition, here now, that which is aware is present. This is the only place, in my experience, that you're going to be able to get around this mind that wants to try to solve this problem using its abilities. It doesn't have the ability. The mind is not going to solve this problem. It simply isn't. But the essential awareness which you are, which just only comes back to the recognition, awareness is here now, and then keeps quiet, and does this over and over, not as a mental activity, but coming into the heart of being and saying, that which is aware is here now. It is present in the form of this man. The essential nature of the form of this man or woman is being consciousness. I know that, so I will trust that. I will rest in this heart of being, and I will do that 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 100,000 times, until this mind, which is trying to solve the problem of my existence, drops. Collapses. It's not going to collapse by you trying to wear it out or beating it with a hammer. It's going to relax. It's going to wear itself out by you coming back to a moment of stillness that's that long. I am here now, that moment, fully in the body, in this presence. Here now, And you do that 10,000 times until that becomes a continuous stream in the heart of being, of knowing, nothing else.
Mhm.
This will end separation.
Yes. I want to solve the problem, but that's the problem. Yes.
Yes, but you see, this is the reason why we do these other kinds of, we talk about these other kinds of things. This is the reason why I'm not that person that you can come to who's going to say, that's an illusion, forget it. Ultimately, that's the case.
Mhm.
But as long as there's the perception that there is a problem, we have to have some way to keep undermining this belief in the mind, which keeps saying there is a problem. And so here, sometimes to the chagrin of people who come into the room, I talk about things psychological, and I talk about things that are happening in the mind, and I offer clues to get around particular spots of difficulty for some people. That doesn't mean I'm saying they're true. At their base, they are all illusion. This is the truth of Advaita. This is the truth of recognition. This is the truth of non-duality. But it is in the nature of mind to cause separation, to generate problems. And this is why coming to see that as an essential nature of mind, we have to come to the recognition, I am not the mind. Its nature is to create all these problems. My nature is to be aware of the problems the mind is creating and saying, no, not this, not this, not this. I am not this.
Mhm.
Keep denying, pointing out to the mind that what it is trying to get you to believe, you no longer believe. If you're able to do that, the mind will lose interest in trying to convince you. So we always have to ask, how do we do that? And the answer is we come back to this recognition that whether there are thoughts present or not, emotions present or not, activity is present or not, all of this is rising in the foundation of heart awareness. So we keep coming back to this foundation, recognition, that which is aware is here now as being, consciousness, until this becomes the dominant theme, even in the mind. So that when the mind wants to say, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem, it then corrects itself. It becomes self-correcting in a way. It says, oh no, that's not true. It recognizes untruth directly. So it's not always pitting itself against some teaching, or pitting itself against some philosophy, or pitting itself against. It simply is coming to understand that what it is doing is not going to result in the discovery of what is already true and present as being consciousness. Because mind is the clear veiler, the clear hider, the clear underminer of being consciousness as a full expression. Therefore, we have to become very disgusted with, very tired of the mind and it's trying to convince us that there is a problem, when in fact we know deep in our own being, you know this. Your name is joy. Goodness gracious.
Yes, I know, but my
I know, but yeah.
mind's saying like, what is this man talking about? Give me an exercise. Give me something to do. Give me something to pick up, and not what you're saying. He's like, this is hopeless for me. This is hopeless. And but something bigger, I can't describe it. I feel since I've been back, I feel more. Immediately it felt like putting on some warm old clothes that I know, that's familiar. But now when you were explaining, my mind was saying, I
Yeah,
cannot
but you don't need to
grasp.
know that.
Mm-hmm.
You're listening with your mind, and the whole time that I've known you, I've been trying to get you to listen with your heart.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen without engaging your thoughts. Can you do that right now? So if I'm speaking to you, you can hear the sound. Words are coming. Within the words are concepts and ideas. You don't need to follow them. If you don't follow what I'm saying, then you are sitting there, you are just aware, without picking anything up. If you don't pick anything up, do you still hear the sound? Yes?
Yes.
You still hear the sound. You don't need to pick anything up. You don't need to say, oh, I'm listening now and I'm going to follow this thought. I'm going to follow every single. You don't need to do that. You can still hear the sound. And you can see right now that you are aware of sound. Are you also aware of the room that you're sitting in?
I'm aware I'm sitting in a room.
Yeah. Are you aware of the body?
Yes.
So there is sensation.
Mm-hmm.
There's breath coming and going. What is there that you need to think about?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not necessarily. No. Just being present is enough.
Right now, in fact, if you don't think about something, then what's the experience you're having?
Being
Being.
in
Is
the
it true?
moment.
Yes. Is it true in the moment? Yes. This
Yes.
being, what you just described as being, is what I'm calling awareness. And the tool is when you are not necessarily feeling this being presence or being consciousness, the tool is notice, am I aware? Ask yourself that question when the mind is making you crazy. Am I aware that the mind is making me crazy? Yes, this can bring you right back to presence. Why? It draws the attention away
Mm-hmm.
from this crazy mind and puts it in the heart, brings it from here to here. This is a very, very simple technique, but it can undercut this problem creating and problem solving mind very quickly and keep bringing you back into being consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the relief of it?
Yes. And I noticed last week when I was aware, I noticed that uh, it felt at ease, very relaxing. And then mind came back. He said, "Is this, is this it? Is this everything?" And I had like a conversation with Lara, and she, yeah, she confirmed, yeah, that's, and I already know, but yeah, that's it. That awareness, that stillness, that present, being present. And now I know I can focus on that. Let my intention go from what you said, from here to there, and it feels nice. And when the mind pulls me out, it's not a problem. If I continue by focusing back, it's not a problem, and that's a big relief to know. Yeah.
And let me encourage you, because, you know, when you say, you come to this, there is this place where the mind jumps in and says, is this it? Is this all there is? I just want to remind you that coming to the recognition, that which is aware is here now, or awareness is what I am, or I am aware, or however it comes for you, coming to this is just the gateway. It's the doorway. But you have to stand in that door for some period of time and get your feet firmly planted in the heart of being. Then it becomes possible to watch these thoughts come, stay for a period of time, and go of their own volition. To watch this problem-solving tendency come into the heart of the mind again and start to create some disturbance. And by not giving it your attention, you starve it of its food and it falls apart. But this place of stability is not some place that you're going to land immediately and stay there in the face of all of this conditioning which is happening in the mind. But it is the gateway. So it's important for you to accept and understand that this is the gateway. And you have to keep coming back to this gateway. The reason I call it a gateway is because on this side is the mind, which is doing what it's doing over here, making all sort of crazy making. And on the other side is the open expanse of free awareness and freedom. So what you're always doing is making that choice. Do I go in this direction of the chaos of the mind that wants to continue with habitual conversation? Or am I going to keep coming and standing in this gateway and looking into the space of free recognition that I am that which is aware, and then see what happens if I step off that gateway, step through that doorway?
Yes.
There is more. There is more. But in order for you to be able to see more, for you to have the direct perception of what all those other very strict teachers are telling you, you have to generate this stability. That is your responsibility. That's not something I can give you. It's not something they can give you. Each individual seeker has to at some point make the decision, I am going to go in the direction of truth continuously, and I'm going to put this aside. You may have heard this description before. It's common in Advaita explanations, and it's the idea, the metaphor of being in the shade of a great banyan tree. The wise person remains. The less wise person goes out into the scorching sun, gets burned, and comes back. And they say, oh, that's it. Never again. I'm going to sit here under this banyan tree in the cool shade. And then the mind starts going like this all the. No, I cannot stay here. I have to go out. I have to solve this problem. Out into the scorching sun again. And so for many, many people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Satsang within oneself is in and out underneath this banyan tree for a long time. But eventually, you will get to the point where you will sit in the shade of being consciousness and you won't want to move.
Yes. Thank you. This is really, 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 really helpful, because my mind is my downfall, and
Everyone's downfall.
yeah, and yeah, my addiction is like nearby if I associate with the mind. So I'm really grateful for attending this meeting, and really thankful for this answer you gave
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Stay with the recognition, I am aware even in this.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, this was the point, wasn't it, Risha, in the beginning? Did you all see Risha's comment? This is the non-dual nature of reality, is that awareness is always here. So awareness is here whether you're in the shade or a scorching sun. One is not better than the other. One of the things that needs to happen for the essential recognition of your nature as being consciousness and bliss is you must come to understand that there's nothing in the duality which is interesting to you. And that in the duality, the essential nature of the duality is equal. If you grasp after pleasure, you will suffer. If you deny pain and try to push it away, force it away, you will suffer. This is the essential equality of duality. Is whatever side of the duality you are on, eventually you will suffer. The duality is rising in the unified field of aware being consciousness. This is your nature. This is your nature. But you can't get there through problem solving. You can only get there by coming to the recognition that which is aware is here now and resting. Allowing the silence of your own being to permeate the space in which you exist. And knowing that everything that comes into that space is coming into that space in order that you can let it go. Whatever is rising for you to have a look at it, if you feel to, for you to non-attach to it, for you to let it go. Your task is to liberate not only yourself, but everything that comes into awareness. Everything partakes of your free, aware nature. And in that partaking is liberated. You are the foundation of freedom and liberation for all thoughts, for all emotions, for all experiences. Whatever is coming to you only so that you can set it free. Those of you who have spent time with Muji Baba know that he says, what is coming to you so that it can be burned up. But what is being burned up is not who you are. It is who you are not. What you are liberating through your recognition of being consciousness is what you are not. So though it may be present in the mind, it is not you. It is simply rising. Don't cling to it. Let it go. Whatever it is. Even if it rises 10,000 times. You are free in your essential nature as being consciousness. You are free in your heart as love and compassion. Give everything away and see what remains. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvargamiva Vandinam Mrityor Mukshiyamamritawa Swaha Bhuva Bhu Om Sat Jung Hang Om